All right, we're gonna talk through probably the most common question we get. It's our #1 video, and we're reshooting this video now to kind of clear some things up. But what we're talking about is trying to mount a drawer front over our door onto a drawer box. Sounds like a simple thing to do, but when you think about some of the ramifications of making a poor decision on this or making it harder on yourself, it's a little harder than it looks. Let me explain. If you're doing for instance, a reface and you're putting drawer fronts on your own cabinet and you've got countertops sitting here, or maybe you followed what we suggest in some other areas of our website where when you do your installation of even our cabinets, brand new cabinets, and you install them, you don't want contractors going around the house with their air hoses and banging into your beautiful cabinet doors and drawer fronts with their tool belts. So we often advise, leave the doors and drawer fronts in their packaging, wait till the construction commotion is done, the countertops are on, then go back and mount your doors and drawer fronts, pull them out of the package, everything's beautiful, nothing's damaged. The problem is with countertop on here, you have no way to work inside the drawer box while you have this drawer front aligned. How do I open the drawer to now get into it to install my final installation screws? So we've had people who have pushed back on the existing video for good reason. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but they've pushed back saying, well, why couldn't we put glue here or use some other manner? We just don't like the way you're showing in the current video, and I'll get into what that is in a minute. But there's good reason for it. And here's what we're suggesting. This is just a way to install a drawer front. There's a zillion of them. Every cabinet maker has their own favorite way. Our way that we're showing is for our homeowner clients who purchase our Conestoga cabinets, don't have a lot of tools, are looking for a fast, efficient, easy way to align a drawer front, open that drawer front, and then work from the inside of the drawer box. So that's what we're showing here. And if you want to use a different way or method, that's totally fine. We understand, and we love to hear the different methods that are out there. So you're going to need your drawer front. You're also going to need, go to Lowe's and pick up some of this double back tape. It's very thin. It's about a 32nd of an inch thick, and once you have it on the drawer and squish it flat, it's probably thinner than that. But it's sticky on both sides. And this stuff has been magic for us with various installation frustrations we run into. This acts as like a second set of hands or a clamp. So let's watch how this works. I think you'll be pretty impressed. And again, if you want to try a different way, there's lots out there. So what we do is we just tear off 4 pieces of this tape. You can cut it. I'm just being sloppy here. We normally cut it with scissors, and I should stress that. We're not usually this rugged with the edges here. You're not going to see it anyway, but we like to cut it with scissors. They even sell this in 3/4 by 3/4 squares. If you want to spend a little more, you can get a perfectly square edge. So all we're doing is we're putting this tape on. We're going to peel the backing off to expose the second sticky surface of the tape. All right, and what this is going to do is it allows us to, once we line the drawer front up, and I'll show you how we do that in a moment, once we line the drawer front up and we press it on, that sticky tape is holding that drawer with perfect reveals just where we want them. And now with the drawer stuck in place, I can now open it and work inside the drawer. So we're doing full overlay here, and this is where I say the reveals are critical. We're doing full overlay here. So on full overlay with Conestoga, our door is mounted flush to the bottom of the cabinet, and they want a 1/2 inch between the door and the drawer front. So our drawer front goes on top, and we're using a piece of Conestoga's toe kick material for a cabinet they sell us. So we have lots of 1/2 inch material around. So we're using a 1/2 inch spacer block. We set that on top of the door. So now we've got our 1/2 inch on the top and bottom, or on the bottom, I should say. And now we're just going to line up the 1/4 inch left and right. I'm going to line it up with my door. Make sure I've got it lined up where it needs to be. And I just press that on, okay? Now once that's pressed on, I can take my block out, my spacer block, and lo and behold, the drawer front is not moving. And if I look at it and say, wow, that's not aligned right, I can pop it back off and try again. Now, once I have the alignment just where I want it, we simply open the drawer, and look at that. The drawer front stays on the drawer box. So now we're going to permanently affix the drawer front to the drawer box. And the way I'm doing that, I've already pre-drilled them, but I would take your screw gun with a very small bit, 1/8 of an inch, not even 1/8, I'm sorry, probably a 1/16 or a 32nd, a very small bit, and just run 4 holes, top and bottom, 2 on each side, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to run those holes at an angle. And what I mean by that is you're going to run the screw gun at a slight angle. And the reason is, if the camera can catch this, if I just run my screws anywhere in here, I'm into the panel of the door. And if it's a flat panel like this drawer front is showing, your screw has only got a 3/8 of an inch or even less material to bite into. And the chances are that either A, you're not going to get a good bite on your drawer front to drawer box juncture, or your screw could come right through the front of the drawer box, or the drawer front rather. So we like to get the screw into the meat of this framing. Very critical on 5-piece drawer fronts like this, not near as critical on a slab. If you're just doing a 1-piece slab drawer front with no panel, you can put your screws anywhere, but we're trying to demonstrate a 5-piece, and we want to get into this framing. So by putting the screw holes at a slight angle, we're going to make sure we're into the meat of this frame, and our screws are not going to pop through on the front and that recessed panel area. So let's set this back in. I'm going to make sure my drawer front clicks into place. So now what we're using is, we like a star bit. It's just a little tighter than using Phillips. We use a star bit. It's got a little bit of a pre-drill tip on it, and the screw length is such that you're going through a 5/8 thick drawer box and then into a 3/4 thick frame. So you only want about 1.25 inches of screw length. If you go too long, you'll be through the front of the drawer again. So I'm using a nice short screw, just enough to get it in there. I'm just putting the screw at a slight angle. I'm not going to blow out dovetails or anything. And now I'm on nice and tight, okay? And I'm not going to run all 4 screws in. You don't need to watch me do that, but make sure you pre-drill the drawer front and the drawer box once it's together like this. I'd already done that, but you want to make sure you're pre-drilling into this so you're not splitting wood anywhere. And then when you're all done and you shut your drawer, you have perfect alignment. And now what you can do is come back later on and run all your hardware on, and your hardware screws will go right through the drawer box itself and through the drawer front. So now you have 4 wood screws and the hardware screws holding your drawer front tight to that drawer box. All that sticky tape is done, has given you a second set of hands. Now, one of the pieces of pushback we get is, oh, we've got a crumb catcher up here. Well, now we've got this little gap from the tape. I wanted to show you this to see what you're looking at here. What we're talking about is this gap right here, which is so small I can't even measure it. It's maybe a 32nd of an inch, and that's the thickness of the tape that has been squished flat. You can see it on the side here, just a little bit of a gap. I can barely get my fingernail in. That's the gap that the tape is creating. I don't find that to be objectionable, and I think the ease of the installation is worth it to me to say that's not a bad gap. To get rid of that gap means I have to find some other method that's not near as easy to put this drawer box and drawer front together. As far as crumb catching, when you put this in and you have your 1.5-inch countertop overhang, there's no way for crumbs to get even in there. So it's a really nice, we find it to be a nice, easy way to install the drawers for our cabinets. But we want to stress, everybody has a method with these, and they like their method, and we love to hear those methods. We love to hear the different ways people are doing things. So if you want to share with us a better way, this is one of the most frustrating aspects of putting doors and drawer fronts and cabinetry together, and we love to share with our customers better methods. So please share with us, put a comment on our YouTube video, whatever, and let's get some dialogue going about better ways to do some of these common tasks. So thanks for watching, and we hope it's helpful for you.